Hi, my name is Andy French, and I'm a pet behavior advisor at the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society. And I just want to say thank you so much to all our fosters that are willing to help us with these Texas dogs that are coming. We honestly couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much for opening your homes and your hearts to these wonderful dogs in need. When it comes to introducing to children, first it's very important to know, do not bring your child when you do come to pick up your foster dog. We do not want their meeting to be here in such a high stress environment, especially when they're just coming off of a long journey. So ideally, we would rather you do the meets in your home. And having someone else to help you is going to be very important for this, for safety and to make sure you have an extra set of hands to help. So obviously, when it comes to a dog meeting children, you do have to make sure that you are constantly supervising, you are gauging the dog's responses, and you are making sure you are rewarding them for good interactions and appropriate behavior when they are around your child. So for meeting a baby or an infant, ideally, if possible, if you do have some type of baby gate or barrier, where the dog can be on the other side at a distance away while your helper has your foster dog on a leash, and then you're on the other side of that gate with your infant, that would be the best thing in regards to safety. But if that is not possible because you do not have a gate, then you can just have your helper have your dog on a leash at a distance away while you have your infant sitting on your lap with you, and you're just going to have to proceed with caution. You do want to make sure that the person that is obviously handling your dog has a nice calm energy. Take a deep breath, try and go into this positively. If there are any stress or if the person handling the dog is acting nervous, we really don't want that to transfer through to the leash and create a stressful negative association with the child. So being calm, cool, collected is going to be very important in order for this to go properly. So ideally having the person at a distance away, and then having you hold your child and have some high value treats ready. Your helper person should have some high value treats. So things like, small pieces of chicken or small pieces of hot dog are going to be really important when you are working on this. Have the treats ready, and as soon as they do look and they do see the infant, immediately reward by saying yes and giving a nice treat for rewarding that nice calm response to just spotting the infant in the distance. And ideally, you just want to keep pairing, looking at the infant with nice rewards to really pair a positive association with seeing that infant. You want to make sure that the helper is rewarding for appropriate responses and nice soft body language. Things like, a nice neutral tail, a nice calm body, no tension, no stiffness, obviously no growling, and just really reward for those positive interactions. If you are noticing any signs of, the dog being a bit overstimulated or barking or pulling, you're going to want to have the helper create distance away from the infant and kind of help bring them back to a state of calmness through treats and guidance before you try getting any closer. If the dog is acting appropriate and is acting just soft and, maybe a little bit curious, but is not over the top, then the helper can start taking, one step towards the infant while making sure they are reinforcing calm, appropriate behavior. So asking the dog to sit, asking the dog to come to them, and making sure the dog is responsive when you are starting to approach the infant. Once the dog is acting calm, the helper can actually walk the dog up to the gate if there is a gate there, and just work on some interactions, through that gate, working on rewarding for that positive body language and responsiveness to the handler. If you are not able to use a gate, then you can just have your infant on your lap and have the dog walk up, again, only if they are calm, and let them just kind of sniff the infant's foot, but making sure that the handler is calling them away and reinforcing nice, appropriate behavior when they're around them, and making sure, if they're getting too excited or they are, being a bit too curious with the infant, that the helper is actually walking the dog away and bringing them back to a state of calmness before allowing them to interact a bit further with the infant. If the dog is doing well, you can allow them to, sniff the infant. You can even tell your dog, good job, and let them know that they are doing well for that. It will be best that the handler of your dog is still calling the dog away and still, working on some obedience cues for them. So they are still learning to not fixate on the child too much and to focus on the handler and to help bring them back again to a state of calmness. You can also let them go back and sniff again, say, yes, good job, call the dog away, give them a nice reward for that, and just really maintain those positive interactions with the infant. Ideally, once they've sniffed the infant a little bit and it seems like things are going well, it might be nice to give the dog a nice little break and call them away and give them some type of fun, enrichment activity, or even giving them, tossing some treats on the ground for them, doing like a little scavenger hunt for them, and just giving them that nice break away from the infant, breaking that focus a little bit, but still making it a really positive experience. You're gonna want to make sure you consistently supervise their interactions with each other, and you are always gauging your dog's responses to things. It is crucial that you're always reading their body language. Dogs communicate through their body language, and the more that you can understand how they're feeling and what they are trying to communicate, the more we can ensure that we are putting them in good situations and removing them from situations when it might be necessary. So making sure that when they are out together, you are always having the dog on a leash, especially for the first few days, and you are just guiding them and rewarding them and really teaching them, how to respond around an infant. We have to keep in mind that infants are very unpredictable, and they can get loud and they can have very unpredictable subtle movements. So that's why having your dog on a leash and really making sure you are gauging their responses and you are working on teaching them how to act appropriate when around an infant is going to be very, very important. It will be very, very important that when you do have your dog in the home with a child, the dog does have proper outlets for their energy. So they are getting enough exercise. They are also getting their own time away from the child is going to be really, really important as well to prevent further issues and to really manage appropriate interactions between them. So making sure that the dog does also have some breaks away from them and has their own activity to engage in, or has some downtime in their crate where the infant obviously will leave them alone, that's going to be really important to maintain a healthy relationship between them.